What if everything you've been told about losing weight is wrong? Counting calories, obsessing over the scale, and tracking every macro. Sure, they work for some, but for many, they're a recipe for stress, frustration, and burnout. Here's the truth. You don't need to live your life glued to an app or a food scale to see real, lasting results. In fact, the most effective way to lose fat might just be the one that feels the least like dieting. Sounds too good to be true? Stick with me, and I'll show you how. Think about it. How many times have you started a diet only to feel overwhelmed by the numbers, the constant calculations, the emotional roller coaster of scale anxiety, and the guilt of messing up can make even the most motivated person want to quit? But what if there was a better way? A way to lose weight without the stress, without the obsession, and without sacrificing your mental health. It's not just possible, it's practical, and it works. This isn't about shortcuts or gimmicks. It's about a smarter, more human approach to fat loss, one that focuses on building habits, listening to your body, and measuring progress in ways that actually matter. Forget the unrealistic celebrity standards and the endless cycle of dieting and failing. This is your chance to break free and finally achieve the results you deserve. Without the stress, ready to learn how to lose fat without counting, without scales, and without the drama. Let's dive in. You're about to discover a method that doesn't just change your body, it changes your mindset. And trust me, once you see how simple and effective this can be, you'll never look back. Is it really possible to lose weight without tracking calories or obsessing over macros? For many, this question feels like a myth or a dream too good to be true. But here's the thing, tracking every bite, every gram, and every calorie isn't the only way to achieve fat loss progress. In fact, for some people, it can feel like a psychological burden. The constant pressure to log every meal, coupled with the emotional roller coaster of scale anxiety, often leaves them feeling stuck. What if there was a way to achieve results without the stress of numbers? Let's face it, tracking isn't for everyone. Some people find it overwhelming, while others feel trapped in a cycle of perfectionism. Imagine someone who's trying to lose weight, but dreads stepping on the scale because it triggers negative feelings about their self-worth. Or someone who starts strong with macro tracking, but quickly burns out because it feels like a second job. These are real struggles, and they're more common than you think. The good news, there's a way to break free from this cycle. What if you could focus on building healthy habits instead of obsessing over numbers? Picture this. Instead of counting calories, you learn to eyeball portions, listen to your body's hunger cues, and track progress through how your clothes fit. It's a habit-based approach that prioritizes consistency over perfection. And the best part, it's sustainable. You don't need to live your life glued to an app or a food scale to see results. Small actions, repeated daily, can lead to big changes over time. This method isn't just about losing weight, it's about finding freedom. Freedom from the emotional baggage of dieting history, freedom from the unrealistic celebrity standards plastered across pop culture, and freedom to enjoy food without guilt. It's a flexible dieting approach that works with your lifestyle, not against it. But how do you navigate the psychological challenges that come with letting go of tracking? For many, the scale is more than just a tool. It's an emotional trigger. Seeing a higher number than expected can feel like a punch to the gut, sparking feelings of inadequacy or even failure. This is especially true for those who tie their self-worth to their weight, a mindset often fueled by societal and cultural pressures. Unrealistic celebrity standards and pop culture references only make it worse, creating an emotional roller coaster that's hard to escape. It's no wonder so many people feel stuck in a toxic relationship with the scale. The obsession doesn't stop there. Tracking macronutrients can feel like living in a cage, where every bite is scrutinized and every meal becomes a math equation. While macro tracking works for some, others find it suffocating. Imagine the frustration of trying to hit rigid protein, carb, and fat targets every single day, only to feel like a failure when you fall short. Over time, this constant focus on numbers can lead to burnout, making it harder to stay consistent. And then there's the emotional baggage that comes with dieting history. Many people carry scars from past attempts at weight loss where they felt judged by their progress, or lack thereof. The cycle often looks like this: initial excitement, followed by a plateau, and then discouragement. This emotional seesaw can make it difficult to stay motivated, especially when the focus is solely on numbers. It's not just about losing weight, it's about overcoming the mental hurdles that come with it. But here's the thing, weight loss doesn't have to feel like a battle against yourself. Breaking free from the scale and rigid tracking can open the door to a more positive, sustainable approach. What if you could measure progress in ways that don't involve numbers at all? Let's explore how non-tracking methods can help you achieve your goals without the emotional toll. Losing weight without tracking might sound unconventional, but it's far from impossible. One of the simplest ways to start is by using visual portion estimates. For example, instead of weighing food, imagine a serving of lean protein as the size of your palm, a portion of rice or pasta as the size of your fist, and 2 handfuls of vegetables filling the rest of your plate. This approach, often called eyeballing portions, is surprisingly effective and removes the stress of exact measurements. It's about making healthy eating feel natural, not like a chore. Another powerful tool is progress tracking without numbers. Forget the scale for a moment. How your clothes fit can be a much more reliable indicator of fat loss progress. That pair of jeans that used to feel snug, if they're starting to loosen up, you're on the right track. Progress pictures are another game changer. Taking a photo every 2 weeks allows you to see subtle changes that the mirror might not reveal. These methods shift the focus from numbers to real, tangible results. Hunger cues are another underrated ally in non-tracking weight loss. Learning to recognize when you're truly hungry versus eating out of boredom or emotion can make a huge difference. For instance, aim for a light, consistent hunger before meals rather than letting yourself get ravenous. This keeps you in a slight hypocaloric condition without the need for calorie counting. It's about tuning into your body's signals and trusting them to guide you. The beauty of these methods is their flexibility. They're designed to fit into your life, not disrupt it. You don't need apps, spreadsheets, or food scales to make progress. Instead, you focus on building habits that feel sustainable and intuitive. But how do you make adjustments along the way to ensure you're still moving toward your goals? When you're not tracking calories, small dietary adjustments become the key to keeping progress steady. One effective strategy is to slightly reduce portion sizes over time. For example, if you've been eating a fist-sized portion of rice, try scaling it down to 3/4 of a fist. These subtle changes are easy to implement and can help maintain a hypocaloric condition without triggering feelings of restriction. The goal is to make adjustments so seamless that they feel almost effortless. It's also crucial to avoid extreme hunger, which can lead to overeating or even giving up entirely. Think of hunger as a dial, not a switch. You want to keep it at a manageable level, light and consistent, rather than overwhelming. For instance, if you notice you're getting too hungry between meals, adding a small snack like a handful of almonds or a boiled egg can make all the difference. This approach helps you stay in control while keeping your energy levels stable. Gradual changes are the secret to long-term success. Instead of overhauling your diet overnight, focus on one small tweak at a time. Maybe you start by adding an extra serving of vegetables to your meals, then move on to reducing sugary drinks. These incremental steps not only make the process more manageable, but also build momentum. Each small victory reinforces your commitment and keeps you motivated to continue. The beauty of this approach is its adaptability. You're not locked into a rigid plan. Instead, you're constantly fine-tuning based on what works for you. It's a dynamic process that evolves with your needs and lifestyle. But how do you stay motivated and emotionally connected to your goals during this journey? That's where the psychological and motivational aspects come into play. Staying motivated during a weight loss journey is often more about mindset than mechanics. One of the most important steps is helping yourself buy into the plan. This isn't just about following a diet, it's about making it feel like your own. For instance, instead of seeing healthy eating as a sacrifice, reframe it as an investment in your well-being. Celebrate small victories like choosing a balanced meal over fast food, and remind yourself that consistency matters more than perfection. After all, one cheeseburger won't derail your progress, but giving up entirely might. Positivity is a powerful motivator. Rather than focusing on what you can't do or eat, shift your attention to what you're achieving. Did you stick to your habit-based approach today? That's a win. Did you feel more energetic after a week of better eating? Another win. These small moments of progress build momentum, making it easier to stay on track. And when setbacks happen, and they will, remember to treat yourself with kindness. A slip-up isn't a failure. It's a chance to learn and adjust. Building healthy habits is the cornerstone of long-term success. Think of it like planting seeds. Each small action, like drinking more water or prepping meals ahead of time, lays the foundation for a habit-based lifestyle. Over time, these habits become second nature, reducing the mental effort needed to stay consistent. For example, if you start by prepping a few healthy snacks for the week, you'll find it easier to avoid impulsive choices later. It's all about creating a system that supports your goals without overwhelming you. The emotional connection to your progress is just as important as the physical results. Many people find motivation in visualizing their future selves. Healthier, more confident, and full of energy. But it's not just about the end goal. It's about enjoying the journey. When you focus on the process, rather than obsessing over the outcome, you create a sustainable path forward. Losing weight without tracking is a lot like flying a plane without instruments. At first, it might feel daunting. You're so used to relying on numbers to guide you. But just like a skilled pilot can navigate by observing the horizon, you can use your body's signals to steer your progress. Hunger cues, how your clothes fit, and even your energy levels act as your flight indicators. Sure, instruments or tracking offer precision, but they're not always necessary to reach your destination. Another way to think about it is this. Weight is like the number on a speedometer, but appearance is the actual ride. Imagine someone obsessing over their weight but ignoring how they look and feel. It's like driving a luxury car but only caring about how fast it goes, not how smooth the ride is. The truth is, the way your body looks and functions often matters more than the number on the scale. Progress pictures and how your clothes fit tell a much richer story than any single digit ever could. Here's a relatable example. Think of your weight loss journey like learning to cook without a recipe. At first, you might feel lost without exact measurements, but over time, you develop a sense of what works. You learn to eyeball portions, season to taste, and trust your instincts. Similarly, with a habit-based approach, you're learning to trust your body and adapt as you go. It's not about perfection, it's about building confidence in your ability to make decisions. These analogies highlight a key point. You don't need rigid systems to succeed. Whether it's flying a plane, driving a car, or cooking a meal, there are always alternative ways to navigate. The same goes for weight loss. But how does this flexible approach compare to traditional tracking methods? Tracking calories and macros is often seen as the gold standard for weight loss, and for good reason. It's precise, measurable, and leaves little room for guesswork. But let's be honest, it's not for everyone. Some people thrive on the structure, while others feel boxed in by the constant need to log every bite. It's like following a strict itinerary on vacation. It works for some, but others prefer to explore freely and enjoy the journey without rigid plans. On the other hand, a flexible approach offers freedom and adaptability. Instead of obsessing over numbers, you focus on habits that fit your lifestyle. For instance, rather than tracking every gram of protein, you might aim to include a palm-sized portion of lean meat or tofu in most meals. This method allows you to stay consistent without feeling overwhelmed. It's perfect for those who value simplicity and want to avoid the psychological challenges tied to tracking. That said, both methods have their strengths. Tracking provides clarity and accountability, making it ideal for those who love data and precision. Meanwhile, the habit-based approach prioritizes sustainability and mental well-being, which can be a game changer for people who've struggled with scale anxiety or emotional baggage from dieting. It's not about which method is better, it's about finding what works for you. After all, the best plan is the one you can stick to. The beauty of this comparison is that it shows there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Whether you prefer the structure of tracking or the freedom of a non-tracking method, the key is to stay consistent and make adjustments along the way. But what happens when you're ready to transition into long-term maintenance? Sustainability is the ultimate goal of any weight loss journey. Once you've made progress, the focus shifts to maintaining those results without feeling like you're constantly dieting. One effective strategy is to introduce maintenance phases. Think of these as rest stops, where you stabilize your weight and allow your body to recover from being in a hypocaloric condition. During this time, you can slightly increase portion sizes or reintroduce some indulgent foods, all while keeping your healthy habits intact. Creating balance is key to long-term success. A sustainable lifestyle doesn't mean cutting out all your favorite treats forever. It's about finding harmony. For example, you might stick to a healthy eating plan during the week and enjoy a guilt-free pizza night on the weekend. This approach not only keeps you on track, but also prevents feelings of deprivation, which are often the biggest culprits behind yo-yo dieting. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Another important adjustment is learning to listen to your body's needs as they evolve. What worked during the weight loss phase might not be necessary in maintenance. For instance, you might find that you no longer need to monitor hunger cues as closely because your habits have become second nature. This is where flexibility shines. It allows you to adapt without feeling restricted. The goal is to create a lifestyle that feels effortless, not like a constant uphill battle. Ultimately, sustainability comes down to mindset. Instead of viewing weight loss as a temporary project, think of it as a long-term investment in your health and well-being. This shift in perspective makes it easier to stay consistent even when life gets busy. But how do you tie all these strategies together into a cohesive, flexible plan? Weight loss doesn't have to feel like a punishment. In fact, the most effective approaches are often the ones that feel the most human, adaptable, forgiving, and rooted in habits rather than rigid rules. Imagine focusing on the process instead of obsessing over the end goal. It's about waking up each day and asking yourself, what's one small action I can take today to move closer to my goals? These small actions, repeated consistently, are what lead to lasting transformation. Flexibility is the heart of this method. Instead of following a one-size-fits-all plan, you adapt your approach to fit your life. Maybe that means swapping calorie counting for portion estimates or using progress pictures instead of the scale. It's about finding what works for you and letting go of the guilt that comes with slip-ups. After all, life is unpredictable. Birthdays, vacations, and busy work weeks happen. The key is to embrace these moments without losing sight of your long-term goals. Support and positivity play a huge role in making this approach work. Whether it's celebrating small victories, like choosing a healthy snack over junk food, or simply reminding yourself that you're worth the effort, these moments of encouragement keep you motivated, and when setbacks happen, and they will, it's important to treat yourself with kindness. Progress isn't linear, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a win. Ultimately, this isn't just about losing fat. It's about creating a lifestyle that feels good, one where healthy habits come naturally and you're no longer tied to the emotional ups and downs of dieting. It's a process of learning, adapting, and growing. And now that you've seen how this flexible approach works, it's time to put it all together and take the first step toward your goals. So, what's stopping you from taking the first step? You've seen that losing fat doesn't have to mean obsessing over numbers, feeling trapped by the scale, or following rigid rules. It's about building habits that work for you, celebrating small victories, and letting go of the guilt that comes with imperfections. Imagine how freeing it would feel to focus on progress, not perfection, and to finally enjoy the process of transforming your body and mind. Ask yourself this: what would your life look like if you stopped chasing diets that don't work and started creating a lifestyle that does? What if you could wake up every day feeling confident, energized, and in control? Not because you hit a specific number, but because you've built a system that fits your life. The truth is, you're worth the effort. You deserve a method that works with you, not against you. Now it's time to take action. Start small. Maybe it's swapping one meal for a healthier option, or taking progress pictures instead of stepping on the scale. Whatever it is, commit to it today. And remember, the journey isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You've got this, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. If this resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss a tip, a strategy, or a dose of motivation to keep you moving forward. Let's make this the start of something incredible, because your best self is waiting.